Tori Talk. Who got the tea? Who got the tea? Yeah. It's Tori Talk. Who got the tea? She got the tea. Yeah. Anything you need to know. Tori Talk. Just tune into the show. Tori Talk. Who got the tea? She got the tea, yeah. Story talk, story talk. Tune into the show. Story talk. Yeah, I know you're the lady. Tori Talk. Oh, yeah, I know.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Tori Talk. I am sitting here with Nick Sneed, music himself, Mr. Nick Sneed. For those who do not know, Nick has done my Tori Talk intro. It was a year ago now, pretty much today at this point. So again, thank you for stopping in. Nick has been hounding me for a year, and I really felt horrible. I feel like it was a me thing. So we're definitely going to do it today. I'm so excited to sit down and talk to you. We're going to start with like a couple icebreakers, and we're going to jump into your interview, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. So tell me why you only wear 3 colors, and let the people at home know what the 3 colors are.
Good question, Tori.
Don't take my mic, man.
Oh, I was talking to the mic. Okay,
Yeah.
my bad. Excuse me. I thought I could be independent here. All right. Anywho, so 3 colors: red, black, and white. Gray sometimes as well, and off-white. So I've worn those colors specifically to brand them in the minds of people that follow me, so that they can kind of understand the colors that are associated with me. Tori always laughs at me, but I studied branding. I'm kind of smart, so I wanted to make sure that people, when they think about me, they kind of have certain things that they can always think to. Red, though, specifically red and white, because I play as Kappa Alpha Psi Howard University, and I feel like that just became one of my favorite colors. It was already one of my favorite colors, and then it was just like the combination is really cool. So it's just something that it's kind of like an homage to Kappa.
Very nice. So, if for those who do not know, Nick Sneed does have a girlfriend, so don't be thinking we're gonna have that conversation today. But what I would say, if you haven't already done it, what would you say would be like the perfect date for you if you didn't have like money not an object? What would it be, and how would you do it if you haven't already done it?
Ooh, well, so perfect date for me and my girl. I know we were actually planning to go to Jamaica. That was gonna be real fun. That was gonna be summertime, but now it's looking a little funny because of coronavirus. So I don't know. But my ideal date would be like going somewhere where it's nice, weather's nice. We could just go somewhere and just chill, have some conversation, but not really be forced to feel like you gotta have conversation type deal. Just kind of just chilling with your baby, drinking, a brew or two, not a Corona. You feel me?
Not a Corona. And this one, y'all black people make me so sick. I'm like, y'all do realize I had shit to do with the beer. I don't drink beer anyway, so this doesn't affect me at all.
Hey, niggas love Coronas. Excuse me, I'm not gonna say that. Cause you can't say niggas, so you curse?
I just curse, so yes, you can.
Okay, cool, great. Well, yeah, so for me, it would just be doing something that's relaxing. Something that's relaxing, that's fun, that gives us something to look at as far as scenery, but something where we could just let our hair down and just chill. Because seems like it's always stuff going on all the time. So, her and I both look for opportunities to just relax,
Yeah, I'm going to Vegas next week, and at this point, they better, unless they say that the Corona has been the hot spot in Vegas, I will catch y'all.
Well,
next week. I know.
She just came back from Vegas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she was at a conference, and one of the people at the conference is confirmed to have coronavirus. I know.
Oh,
right?
Lord. So I
looked. You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
I mean, I looked, and I saw that it said it was like under like a 1 to 5. I said, oh, that ain't shit. Like we got more than that in Maryland.
Nah,
so I'm like, we got more cases than that here. So I'm like, okay, we should be good. But now I'm just like, damn, Nick.
I know. That shit is scary.
Well, don't worry. I'll be in the hazmat suit.
Not a hazmat suit.
Yes.
I'm glad you know what the name of the suit is, but that's okay.
My daddy got one. I will be putting that on, taking my trip. I will be there. Okay, this is my birthday.
You were gonna turn up, regardless. Go
in the suit.
Go for it. Suited and booted.
Yes. Now, last question for you is: do you think that reading is fundamental?
Absolutely.
Okay, it's interesting that you say that because let me tell y'all something. I had my 1-year anniversary, right? And Mr. Nick Sneed read the time of said party.
I did.
And then managed to call me an hour after it's over, like, you still there? Now, please explain to me how you made that happen.
I'm so glad you asked this, and I want you to keep this all in there, because this is not really my fault. And I feel like I got like daggers from both directions, right? So,
I had like this whole thing I was going to say for you, too, because you did my theme song. I had this whole breakdown.
Look, so me and my girl, we was ready to go. We was on our way, en route, ready to go turn up for Tori Talk. And I was telling her, I was like, hey, babe, we about to go turn up for Tori Talk. I made her theme song. You and I got to be there. You know what I'm saying? It's like she's effectively celebrating us. You feel me? But we were coming from a photo shoot, Tori Talk. So I was trying to
make it all work.
And I was trying to make it so that, you know, when I came to the next Tori Talk, I would have some things to talk about on Tori. Ain't that, look at that. Ain't that, what is that? Ironic. I needed something to talk about on Tori Talk. You feel me? Nah, so, yeah, we were coming from that. And then by the time we finished, I called you like, hey, look, we trying to come still. Because we wanted to come. We just going to be late. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I was frustrated. I was mad. So that's messed up. Y'all, hey, look, she my friend, but I don't know. I'm almost mad at her now for saying that reading is fundamental and that like I ain't read. Because my girl say the same thing. So that's a real thing. It's a real fact.
What was the photo shoot for? So
we were doing a photo shoot in preparation for a single that I put out called No Pressure. So No Pressure came out February 11th, I want to say. And we were doing the photo shoot in preparation for releasing that song.
Perfect.
You know what I mean? So it was good intentions. At least I wasn't just out here just lollygagging Tori Talk.
I guess I'll give you a pass. I mean, you did have something to do. You just wasn't being late in the house. Fine. We'll go with that. So, again, thanks again for sitting down and doing an interview with me. First, I want to let everybody know, like, how did you get your start with music? When did you fall in love? Where's your inspirations? Because, you know, I didn't meet you in music until, college? So
right.
There's a whole lot of time before then that you were actually out here doing things. So how was that for you?
So for me, I would say my start has always been one of the dopest starts of all.
Oh, my.
But it really. But no, my start really started at like 7 years old. So at 7 years old, my mom bought me my first piano. And then my dad ended up buying me my second piano like 15. Around that same time, I was living with my dad. I broke my leg. Fun fact, I was playing AAU with Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? I don't get an opportunity to say that much, but I was nice in basketball. Don't forget that.
Until he broke his leg, then he got
I broke my leg. Shout out KD. Shout out KD for holding down the PG fort. But
he held it down because, you know, Nick went out.
Because I went out.
So he got his shine. Because without him, he wouldn't have been able to be KD today.
I really helped KD. I really helped KD really do his thing and be great because, you know what I'm saying, we was all in this together. PG Jaguars. Salute. You feel me? Shout out Mike Beasley, too. But, yeah, so pretty much my dad got me my second keyboard when I was 15. I had just broken my leg. I needed something to do, so I started playing keyboard, and I taught myself how to play keyboard. So growing up between Landover, Maryland, which is, you know, the thing that I always say, and my dad would also make sure y'all understand that I was also born and raised, rather, in Capitol Heights.
Okay.
So I was really between those two.
Okay.
And my dad saw my documentary, kind of chewed me up about that. He was like, son, you from Capitol Heights too? I'm like, okay, you're right, Dad, because he is right. But anywho, so Capitol Heights, Landover, between those two places, that was kind of where I began to hone my skills. So, like, writing raps, freestyling for people, being in little ciphers in the neighborhoods. And then by the time I turned 15, I broke my leg. Going into college, well, so when I broke my leg, that's when I first started playing piano. After a month of playing piano, like for real, I made my first production.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like on some Tori Talk type shit. I had made that shit.
Yeah.
In a month. So I was like, shit, this is pretty good, you know, because I was looking at my peers around me and I'm like, damn, like Kevin Durant, he could probably play basketball half as much as I do and be 4 times as good, right? But I recognized that the music was something that I had a competitive advantage in. I could spend only a month in it and start making songs that people was like, oh, I like that beat. You know what I mean? And that was like my dad. So it's like, you know, if my dad could like it, and I know how good his ear for music is, I know how good the Sneed ear is, for him to, you know, start to say, hey, son, throw a little bit of bass in there. Or, you know, it just started to make me see that, hey, maybe I have something here that's a natural gift that I need to expound upon, you know what I'm saying? So my mom was already singing, but it was really like my mom and my dad together collectively that got me into the space of like really producing music. And then I go into Howard, and that's a whole lane and a whole story there, because I ended up meeting DJ Money, and really my line brother Jay Murph. You know Jay Murph. So Jay Murph took my first CD, and he gave it to DJ Money, and then DJ Money ain't listened to it at first. He put it in his computer.
Trash.
Yeah, real talk. It might have just been trash. It might have just been on accident. He might have saved it, but then he ended up listening to it on shuffle or something like that, and he heard the song, and he told Jay to contact me.
What was the song?
It was a song called Black Widow. And that was really like me starting to get an opportunity. That was like the first time I ever got a call like, oh man, I'm excited to meet somebody, you know what I'm saying? And Jay had me, I met Money, and I met, you know, I eventually ended up meeting Raheem, and, you know, a lot of the staples in this area, especially around that time, 2010, Raheem Devon had 368 Music Group. He was also, there was Board of Administration with Wale. So like Money was kind of like right in the midst of both of those. So I was really able to just kind of just be a fly on the wall in a lot of situations and just see how things were developing. And when I got a chance to like play a beat or something or sing something, I would. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I started to, you know, get my feelers out there and kind of get involved in the DC music community, professional music community, so to speak.
So was it kind of hard for you to do this while you were in school? I mean, I know some of us took some of our classes a little more serious than others. But
some
like,
didn't, not you.
Oh, I was saying, yeah, I did my school stuff. Don't do that to me.
You got a good government job. You good.
I did good in school. But more so, was it hard? Like, did you have to like actually sit and say, you know, spend some time on it, or is it something that you kind of like have always just been kind of naturally good at, so it wasn't like too much of your brain space to try to work on that while you were in school, and pledging on stuff that you did while you were in college?
Well, when I was in college, I was kind of like a little bit of an outcast from everything, while I was an incast at the same time. So like, I was a physics major. That by default made me very unique in terms of like my studying requirements. Where my classes were on campus, my classes wasn't even where the main classes was.
Far.
Y'all. Very far, y'all. You know what I'm saying? My classes were like in the valley, whereas everybody else's classes was on the yard for the most part. So it was kind of like I was, you know, what's the dude off of Harry Potter? The dude that's like, precious, not pressure.
That is not Harry Potter. That is Lord of the Damn Rings.
Oh, well, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
And his name is Gollum. Now, first of all, good thing I know what I'm talking about, because I love me watching movies. I'm like, that would not have got anybody there.
Well, look, Gollum.
Lord of the Rings, yes, okay, so we know what you're talking about now.
Lord of the Rings, Gollum. Just like Gollum, I felt like I was like outcasted, so to speak. So like amongst my line brothers, I was a physics major. I couldn't study with nobody. I couldn't ask nobody for help. And, you know, there were parties that they would be going to and I had to study, you know what I'm saying? And then the physics department, they looked at me like I was doing too much at times, because I was a physics major that was a Kappa, which they were just like against that. That was just like, you know, they didn't really appreciate how much of my studies and how much of my focus was diverted because of, you know, all of the stuff that goes into pleasure, you know? So it was tough for me, but I would say for the most part, the way I worked around it was I just told myself that, hey, my schedule, my life ain't really like everybody else's. I just got to be okay with that and accept it, you know what I'm saying? Even when I didn't really understand where physics would take me, but ultimately I'm glad I buckled down and studied and did what I needed to do to actually graduate. Albeit I did like miss out on certain opportunities because I was studying my black ass off.
As you should. I mean,
But now I got a studio and shit, so it worked out.
Well, you said you had a line brother named Jay Murphy. You know how college was for him. So.
Yeah, look, there you go.
Totally understand.
Yeah.
So, okay, after Howard, and you're out now, and now you're in the real world, having tried to make real money out here and doing things. So, what was kind of that push to still make you want to do music? Because I know you still had singles and stuff that you were doing, but I know it's like you took a hiatus at a point.
Right.
So, how did that time, how was that for you?
Well, for that time and for that space, I can take the mic.
I'll let you get the mic.
Oh my God, y'all! Hey, y'all! Big shout! We'll give a shout out to my grandma. So, no. But for that, I would say I was just trying to understand like how I was going to continue to make music, because music is expensive. Like, you know how the Tori Talk is expensive too.
And don't nobody pay Tori Talk for nothing.
Well,
all my money.
The thing is that you're investing though, right? Like you're investing. You bought the theme song for me. Like you hit me up like
it was not free. If y'all want to know, the IG Live people and people at home, he charged me for that theme song, y'all. You think he's gonna be like, oh right. Tori, oh little sis? No.
I got kids. You know what I'm saying? One kid. Shout out my brother King Bean.
He did not give me that theme song free. He charged my ass.
Hey, look.
And I paid.
And you know, like the next few people have paid substantially more. You know what I'm saying? Because you were the first person to tap me for that, to say, hey, can you make my theme song? So I was just appreciative of you even asking and like being professional about the process. But more or less, it's like, this is an investment. So music is one of those things where it's like you invest in for years and years and years and years, and then eventually you start to see a return on your investment. So it's just like, I knew if I wanted to do music on like a P level, as they say in PG County, which just means a professional tier, then it's like you need money behind that, you know? And at first, I didn't really know how I was going to find money. And furthermore, I knew that beyond money, you needed a network, and then you also needed some knowledge to know how to make the best use of the money. You know what I'm saying? So fortunately for me, man, I just ended up stumbling into some things in my life, namely business consulting, that has really became a foundation that I use to like run this business stuff. So really my business stuff isn't really ran like a traditional artist per se. Like I got even right here, I got, you know, project management tools that I've created myself, and you know, I don't know, basically I ended up finding out about this world called consulting, business consulting, strategic consulting, management consulting. And with that, I became a bit more organized. And furthermore, that became the thing that paid my rent, paid my mortgage. You know what I'm saying? So for a while, I was taking a hiatus just trying to figure out how I was going to fund things. You know, I went and shot a music video in New York, like in 2015, 2016. And the video was like $800. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, like these music videos are expensive. If I'm gonna be doing this, I need to make sure I have bread. But then it was like, damn, I need a website too. Damn, I need this, I need that. So it's like I began to teach myself how to do a lot of different things, and then I started to offer those services to people. And then, you know, now fast forward today, I feel like I'm rambling, but long story short.
No, you're not.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But long story short, I would say during that hiatus, I was really just trying to identify what I was going to do for my career, for real. Because I felt like music is a great thing to do, but if you want to really do it and create product that can have legs, you got to get your songs mixed. You know what I'm saying? You got to get your songs mastered. And unless you have that skill set, then you're really going to be doing yourself an injustice, even if you make the most fire song, because it's like a consumer can listen to it and consume it, but a business person can't really take that and capitalize on it, like make a lot of money on it, because it's not a product that competes with other products in a professional marketplace. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was a combination of skilling up myself and then saying to myself, I need to have funds and knowledge and know-how and structure to be able to continue to run my stuff. And now, like at 30 years old, it's like I feel like I've learned a lot of what I need to keep going. And I've also realized that 30 ain't old either. You know what I'm saying? You look at dudes like Lucky Day, you look at dudes like D Smoke. So I just feel like it's good for me to have been on this train of thought leading into where I want to go, because I have a foundation that, you know, the moment that things really like exponentially pop, I already have systems in place to make sure we can keep it going forever, you know.
Okay, so now hiatus is over.
Uh-huh.
You have your business model. You figured out where your money gonna be. You figured out how you're gonna pay for this, pay for that. You jump back in. What was your project like? What was your first? I mean, I know, but I want everybody at home to know. So,
what was my first what?
When you jump back from being off your hiatus, so you know you start putting your music back out and your videos back out again, and then like I started seeing you more on the news, and I remember I was like, Nick, you gonna be in the news? Yeah. My mother was like, oh, Nick. I was like, yeah, we gonna record.
Yeah, look, did I record that?
We did record it. So, what was that whole process like, and kind of what was the push? Because I know a lot of times, like, even for me and what I'm doing and what other people are doing, you can be doing and putting out content and doing whatever, but it's not really like you're making those connections with some of those markets that you need to get into. So, kind of, how was, like I said, the first kind of project you worked on and the process for that?
Well, honestly, I would say that's really just a blessing. It's all God's blessings and God's grace. I got lucky in the sense that it seems like whenever I put out some music or I go to like put something out on Instagram, which just goes to speak to the power of social media, a lot of my friends, unbeknownst to me, have been like growing up and doing big shit. You know what I'm saying? So like one of my friends, she had been kind of like seeing what I was doing as far as pushing my music. She also saw that I was a physics major. She also saw that, like, at the time I was reaching back to my high school because I was trying to more or less just give back to my high school, because I felt like...
You went to Largo, right?
I went to 3 high schools. I went to Parkdale.
Okay.
They came and shot at my basketball practice. We know who you are. So, no, they came and shot at my basketball practice.
Lord, the ghetto.
Child the ghetto, right? Damn.
I like that.
It's like, nah. So that happened with Parkdale. Then I went to Jericho. Jericho Christian Academy. That was like private school. Then I went to Roosevelt. So Roosevelt. Okay, that's what Roosevelt Science and Tech School. So, like, Roosevelt was the first school that I was at where they made us take a class called Recording Technologies, which is like...
Roosevelt got the bougie people, y'all. If you ever know anybody from Rose... Guess it's not a bad thing. This is the product.
Look, this is what come out. Only the best.
This is what only the best.
You feel me?
But the bougie people went to Roosevelt.
You feel me? Cross our legs when we sitting on.
They were like right underneath of the private school people because they were still like doing the same stuff, but they was bougie too.
Hey, look, we didn't even have to wear uniforms. You know what I'm saying? But
it made them even more bougie.
Look, we felt great. You know what I'm saying? But so basically, when I was at Rose, I took a class called Recording Technology. And it introduced me to like Pro Tools, introduced me to recording technology, really, like anything that you can use to make a song, anything you can use to make a beat, you know, really using digital instruments to make compositions. We learned all of that stuff in this class. So I was like, damn. I remember the tools that we were using were a bit outdated even then, but like they helped me learn so much. I want to give back and just give the students the opportunity to have at least the latest version of Pro Tools, which is the recording software, right? Yeah. So I said, well, I'm going to put on this event where we're going to raise money, and then I'm going to use the proceeds to buy Pro Tools for the school, right? So I made, somehow or another, I was at an event, and my friend who is she's an actual personality on the news. Her name is Makia. Shout out to Makia. She also went to Roosevelt. So I was at a brunch and I was telling her the stuff that I was working on, and she was like, "Oh, this is awesome. I want you to come up to the station.
That's how she said it.
Perform."
This is awesome.
This is how she said it, y'all. She got good grammar, y'all. She said, "I want you to come up to the station. This is to be a great opportunity for you to reconnect with the Roosevelt community, and furthermore, it'll just be a good opportunity for you to like bring light to a black person that's a scientist." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So. Plus the science that I study, like I study physics, but music is completely all physics. Like even us talking to this microphone is me speaking mechanical waves into this digital device, and this device is converting those mechanical waves to ones and O's that is hitting this, you know, phone that ultimately shows up as audio. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's the coolest, nerdiest thing that you could really do. You know what I mean? So,
Okay, nice. So we talked about that part, but you did not talk about what your single was when you came back, and kind of what that was. I know when you went on there, you have this guy who's with you that plays the violin.
My brother.
Yes, I always see that. So I remember seeing that, and then I've seen you out. I forget where you were. We were at that event off of 8th Street. Like Neil had something, and you end up.
Oh yeah, South by Southwest. South by Southwest in DC.
Lord. So I saw you with that. We're not gonna really talk.
Oh, look, that's all you.
Most times when I see Nick out, it's in like the most randomest of ways. Like we end up at something, and he be like, "Oh, Tori," and I be like, "Nick, what are you doing here?" And the next thing I know, he like, "Oh, I'm gonna perform."
Exactly.
And I be like, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll stay longer."
Exactly. Like, well, you can stick around for this, dude. I guess, you know.
And it's like, so he always comes and he plays like live violin, and that's something I think that kind of adds a little difference to you, because you don't see that often. So again, you always normally like playing your piano, you're singing like live, you have like live music along with you. So why did you make that decision? Because like you see, we're in the studio right now, you make all of your own stuff, and you know, record and produce all your own things. So why is it important for you to have like that live music aspect?
Well, two reasons. One, because I feel like live performed music is, you know, it's one of those things that's nearly a lost art. You know, when you consider all of the, you know, music in the school programs being taken out, it's almost as if the opportunities to really enjoy live music and live performances, you know, in theory, they could be gone soon. So it's like, number one, it's pleasing to the ear to hear things live, but then number two, I feel like just visually, you know, seeing a black dude with dreadlocks at that, who was also my frat brother, you know what I'm saying? To see him playing a violin is just like, it's just the coolest thing, right? It's like, it defies some of the stereotypes, even if you can't even hear what it sounds like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true.
I feel like having the two of us on the news, why end? Does live just end after a while?
I don't know.
I mean, I never.
Mine didn't ever end. I think it said you had poor connection.
My connection was trash.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. But yeah, it's just like to see somebody who is from the city, from the area, speaks the language, is a real thorough individual, play this violin, which we know is, you know, not associated heavily with black culture, you know what I'm saying? Or black performance even. Like, you know, you think about black people performing, you think about a piano, you might think about a saxophone or, you know what I'm saying? Drums, congos, bongos, you know? But for him to be playing a violin, I just said, man, this is dope. And honestly, to be completely transparent, I didn't even really at first want that nigga down. You know what I'm saying? Because I like, he got invited to a video shoot that I was having. And, you know, I'm a little bit older in my fraternity. So, you know, I had opportunities to kick it with him, but I didn't really know him that well at the time. Yeah. But, man, he came through, and he was so humble, and he was real dope. And he told me, he was like, man, you know, I'll bring my violin the next time you need me to bring it. And I was like, well, yeah, whatever.
How this gonna sound?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you got to do with a violin. But, I mean, he really came through, man, and he came through with the violin, and his spirit was just so tight. And ever since, like, he initially started working out with me, and we did the news stuff. And I mean, Haru, I feel like his career has like just kept blossoming because he's a good dude, and he's continued to just work the area and work with people and just be a good spirited person. And then don't help that he's talented, you know what I'm saying? Certainly he's gonna be able to, you know, continue to grow and continue to build. But ultimately, I was thinking about the sound, number one, but then also, number two, the look. And what that look means to some black kid, you know, who's right now can't afford a violin. You know what I'm saying? And not even thinking about a violin. To see somebody do it with some swag, I just feel like it just gives somebody an opportunity to see, damn, well, maybe I could do that too.
Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that single called like The Wave?
The Wave.
So it's called The Wave, and then the one that you have out right now, the latest single is called what?
Well, the latest one that just came out in February was called No Pressure, but the one before that was called Quarter Vibe.
Yes. So let's talk about that, because I do not understand the art of writing music. Like, I don't know if I have that much to say.
Interesting.
So it's like I could talk all day, but to really try to sit and like think about lyrics to a song, like, and if you guys don't know, when he made my theme song, it was literally like, now when Nick made a theme song, I don't even remember if I had any episodes. I don't think I had anything.
You just sent me like a little trailer.
Yeah, I didn't have anything. I think I might have done maybe one interview because I kind of pre-recorded all of my stuff, and he was just kind of like, okay, well, what is the show gonna be about? And I'm like, oh, Lord, I already went through this with somebody once. This is going to be terrible. All I did was, like, no, not that. Like, you know, like, trying to give you the example.
Right.
And I just remember, like, saying, I swear I might have sent you 5 things, like, just as a broad scope, and you came up with that. Like, I think it was, like, a week or 2 later, and I was just like,
hey, look, I'm lit, you lit. I'm lit, you was lit, because I was lit. Let me tell you.
He didn't want to give me the song, y'all. He said he was going to change the word.
I didn't. At first, I was like riding around on a scooter. There's a whole story to that. Real talk.
Yeah, but we can talk about the theme song last. But I do want to know your process for, you know, when you're actually writing music and how you came up with the ideas for the songs that you have. Like, so we talk about The Wave and the No Pressure and the other one that came right before. Like, how is that? Because to me, it's just so amazing. Like, creative people like that just amaze me.
Well, that's what's up. We should amaze you. But no, I would say for me, I just realistically, for one, it's really largely about just like listening to something the first time and then whatever comes to your mind. So like for me, I don't like when I had that track for Tori Talk, it was like once I had the pianos and I had the arrangement together, I kind of wanted to just separate myself from it. Almost as if it's like it's not even anything connected to me. I need to separate myself from it completely because I know I like it. But then when I come back to it, I want to hear it again. And then whatever comes to my mind at that moment, my personal method, and I'm selling this method in like an actual course at some point because I think teaching these kind of look, you know what I'm saying? You get out of this exclusive gems right here for the free. But more or less, I have a voice memo recorder right there on hand, and you know, I've since heard lots of people say this. I've heard Tory Lane say it now. I've heard Ryan Leslie say it now. And
I love me some Ryan Leslie, y'all.
Look, I mean, the people that really are good writers, this is what we kind of live by. Who else said that they do this? Maybe Eminem. Like, a lot of people say kind of swear by this method, but especially R&B singers, because it's kind of hard to write anything, even bars. It's just hard to just write it without seeing how it correlates to the beat, you know what I'm saying, or how it associates or connects to the beat. So the voice memo is the way to do all that in one take. So basically, for me, it starts with just playing the song and just like whatever comes to mind at that moment, I'm just going to just start singing that. So it might be so it's just like first it's not really no distinguishable words. It's just like melodies and ideas, and then once I got that, then I'll take a step away from that. So then I'll like set that down for a day or two. Then I'll come back to that, and then I'll start listening to that, and then I'll start like trying to fill in actual words. So during the time that I was writing your theme song, you had just given me like a few phrases that you said, look, who got the tea? You
oh yeah,
because
like something's on my site,
Yeah, he was like, these are a couple of the things that I say in the show, a couple of the like headline things that I say, you know, see if you can potentially incorporate this. So once I read that, and then I kind of got the vibe of the track and the vibe of what I was already doing, because even when I'm just doing the melody, there's a certain emotion to it. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a certain vibe that even lends itself to certain words. So pretty much after I get the like rough draft of the voice memo, I start to fill in the words, and then I actually come in here and record it.
Okay.
So I actually come in here and record it. Once I record it here, then I start to just listen to it like when I'm on a scooter or something. So
you in this scooter.
So baby knows I'm always on the scooter.
On the scooter.
You know what I'm saying? My girl's in here right now, so she knows that I'm always on scooters everywhere I go. When I'm on the scooter, I'll listen to it in my headphones, and I'll be like, does this make me feel like a way? Does this make me feel cool? You know what I'm saying? And if it makes me feel cool, I'm like, okay, I'm headed in the right direction. Do I feel cool? Do I feel like vibed out? Whatever the emotion is of the song that I'm trying to write, that's what I'm looking forward to capturing. So when I did your song, that was pretty much my process. It was like the voice memo into actually crafting the words, and then it's just a matter of listening to it, revising it myself, and then eventually I pass it off to you. And
reluctantly, because you act like you didn't want to give it to me.
Yeah, I did, because I was like, I gotta make sure it's on point first. And then, you know, thankfully you liked the idea that was already laid. You just wanted it to be sped up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's pretty much been the process that I apply whenever I'm making a theme song now. You know what I'm saying?
So do you get those requests a lot now, like more frequently since I asked a year ago?
Well, I get them, but it really wasn't until conversations with my girl that I really realized how I wanted to approach the business behind it. Because it's like, really, I looked at her contract, a template, to determine how I was going to make it more official moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when people ask you for something that's creative tasks are like, you know what I'm saying, there's so much wiggle room for what you're going to come with as far as the final deliverable. It's tough sometimes to deal with it, and most of the requests that you're getting initially are coming from your friends, you know what I'm saying? So now I've actually started to get requests from people outside of my friends. So I would say I've been getting them coming in pretty frequently, but I wouldn't take them until recently. Like, okay, I'll do it because I have a better process now. I'll do it. So if you need a theme song, NickSneedMusic.com, you know what I'm saying, place the inquiry, and I got you. You know?
The shameless plug.
The shameless plug. Very shameless.
So, now you mentioned that you were coming up with an idea for No Pressure, because you put a video out for that one, correct?
For No Pressure, yeah.
Yeah. So, how was that? Because I just remember seeing, I think it was, like, I don't know if it was the album, like the single art, or like some like moving type of graphic, and it was like he was on like the water and some like, I was like, what is this? What's happening here? Was it like somebody in a bathing suit or something like that?
Bathing suit?
Not you, the girl. It was like something like that for your art.
You talking about Quarter Vibe?
Maybe, yes, Quarter Vibe, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So it was like, how did you come up with some of these ideas for your videos? Because I know some people, like I just was helping do like a video shoot, and the guy had like a whole storyboard and exactly every detail of what he wanted. And I was just like, oh, luckily we got this in this house. Like, how you come up with yours?
The thing with that is that's how I would like to do it. But unfortunately, it's like all the time, not every director is capable of pulling your vision together by following a storyboard, right? So like, for example, with the No Pressure video, for us, it really just started. A lot of times I'll give the director the song and I'll say, man, just listen to it. A lot of times they may or may not listen to it. They already kind of got an idea of what type of scenes they are comfortable shooting, you know what I'm saying? And what I try to do with the music videos is I try to look at a director's reel and see what things they've done in the past, and then what shots out of that I can try to pull into what I'm doing. So, so I'll be like, okay, I can see he does a good shot right there at DC with the dogs real well. So that's what we're going to do with my photo shoot. We're going to get a dog in DC and put it together. This is the type of lighting that he's good at doing shots of, you know what I'm saying? So really, I like to look at their reels, see what their strengths are, and then based off of that, I'll start to try to build out what I think is a good flow of visuals based off of what I see they can do. So with No Pressure, honestly, the dude who shot that, his name is EK the Sniper. Real dope director from this area. He's done videos for like Q the Fool, Fat Trail, a lot of big up and coming DC artists. Really, I let him hear the song, and I told him that my boy LaQuinn was on the song. And he was like, all right, bet, but then we're going to shoot it in DC. And I think I might have told him to look at this Kanye West video. I think he said he looked at it. I don't really know. Because my video, I really looked at the Kanye video. But I think generally he got an idea after he saw what I was going for. You know what I'm saying? So really a lot of times I give the director freedom to take whatever ideas I have and execute them within the realms that they can actually execute things, you know.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, Nick Sneed has a beautiful daughter. And when you came back, like you came back in there, you didn't have a daughter, and then you had a daughter. So how has that well, you know, like it happens. But we're so like, how has that been? And like, how has like she inspired? inspired your music in any way, or like, is there something that, you know, as she get older, because she's still very young, but like while you're doing this, is she wanted to get into music? Like, what would you tell her, and how has this process been? I know now it's like sometimes people will still talk about the same things when they get to be different parts, you know, places in their life, but you gotta do it now. So like, do you think that that's changed a bit, like how like you go about your music and your writing?
Well, yeah, I would say honestly, before Sky came around, I feel like I feel like I had meaning in certain things that I was doing, but I feel like Sky just gave me a whole new meaning to everything that I do. You know what I mean? I think before Sky, it was real easy for me to just be selfish and to be kind of caught up in my own stuff, you know. But after Sky, it's like I can't even afford to get sad too much, because it's like it's so much that she needs for me to still be able to execute in order for her to have a good life. You know what I mean? So I would say since Sky's come, it really has come out in like my raps. I feel like anything that's like a part of a somewhat of a struggle, for one, as an artist, you should speak on it, because you're not the only person going through it. And then two, like if you're not speaking on it, you're really doing yourself a disservice, for real, because it's so many people going through it, and it's like you have an opportunity as an artist to go through whatever you're going through and to process it and internalize it and to make it something that can motivate people or make people feel empathy for what you're going through, or make people connect with you, because they're like, damn, I'm trying to send my daughter to private school too. You know what I'm saying? So like here lately, what's coming out of my raps is like, I'm trying to send Skylar to private school, like, and that's legit how some of the things that I'm thinking about and some of the things that I'm working through. And you know, so I feel like Sky just gave me meaning. She's the reason why I bought a house. I wasn't going to buy a house before Sky. I was really trying to figure out what I wanted to do career-wise. I was considering grad school and different things. But it was like after Sky was born, it was like, man, what can I do here that can put me in a position to take care of her without having to uproot my whole life and not really be able to be in her life actively, you know, and engaged, to where I'm raising her and she has that trust for me, you know what I'm saying, that you would want from, you know, from your daughter, from your kid in general. So, I mean, Sky, you're right. I did do a hiatus. I was gone. Me and Ash talked about this before, too. I disappeared for a bit. I was gone. And during that time, I was really just, like, trying to figure this thing out. So I got the house, and I started setting up the studio. And I just figured that the one thing that I did want to have was I wanted to, whatever I set up, to put me in a position to be able to sustainably make music. So, you know, you get a little bit of money, you could pay for the studio, you go to the studio a few times, maybe you get a few songs done. But if you could have a studio in your house, then whenever inspiration strikes, so long as there's electricity in the house, you know what I'm saying, you can be creative and lay things down. And that's what I wanted to get to. So, yeah, I mean, to go all the way back to the beginning, Sky is really the reason that I'm able to do any of this stuff, because she just made me say, wow, this little girl is just like me. She loved me to death. And, you know, shoot, I want to make sure that when she grows older, she can look back at some of this stuff and say, damn, my dad had me in the video. You know what I mean? And he loved me, and he was thinking about me, and he was thinking about more than just himself. So that's what Scott did.
Oh, it's that nice being that dad nigga been grown.
Black dads be lit, bro. Black dads be lit.
Black dad, well, what is it, girl dad?
But that's girl dads. But Black Dads Be Lit is like the actual brand that I created.
Oh!
Yeah, Black Dads Be Lit. So we're going to get some merch going too.
So what is this? Let's talk about this. So this came, obviously, I guess,
after
once you became a Black Dad.
Yeah, right. So this came about maybe sometime last year. I just started to say Black Dads Be Lit. Because I feel like black fathers are a little different. I know your father's a little different. My girl's dad, he a little different. My dad, he a little different. They all are like cooler than most.
Yeah.
And the ones that are responsible.
As you get older, you appreciate it a little bit more. You
really do. But I still be looking at my dad's clothes. I'm like, man, let me get them shoes. Let me get them shoes up off you, Pop, you know. But he's, I think black fathers, the ones that are able to overcome, the ones that are able to be positive role models in our child's lives, I think we're just the littest ever. Like, I think there's a whole generation of fathers that are like my age, 27 to like 35, that are just cool dads. They're active, you know, some of them play ball. I'm thinking about my friends, you know. Some of them play ball, some of them are rappers, some of them are in IT, some of them are, you know, the blue collar. But like whatever the case may be, is like they're all really good dads, you know, and they're lit too. And lit can mean a lot of different things. It could mean literally like they drinking a little bit and they having a good time because they buzz a little bit. But they are also great dads all in the midst of it all, you know. So it's just like a brand that I created, and we're gonna have some merch drop very soon, you know what I'm saying? Hand rub like bird, like
can't wait to see the merch.
So we're gonna have some merch that drops that really just highlights and celebrates dads that are like at that intersection of fatherhood and like the hip hop culture.
Okay, that's exciting. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah,
I'm looking forward for hopefully a
t-shirt
or a hat or something.
Hey, look, we got you. Even
like,
though you're not a black dad,
so
you give it to your dad.
Yeah.
There you go.
I promote it. What you mean?
There you go. Black dad be lit.
I ain't no black mom, but hell, one day maybe.
Soon.
Don't say soon now, Nick. Let's not say soon.
No,
we're not gonna say soon.
Why not?
So what type of like things would you tell people who really want to break into this industry? As you kind of mentioned a little bit earlier in the interview, you said you're 30 now. You've been kind of doing this essentially your entire life. As you said, it's funded by you, you know, produced by you. This is your money and your time. So for someone who is like, well, I don't have all these moving parts, or it's so expensive, or I'm getting discouraged, like, what would you tell them? Because as you said, this is still, it's like a ever moving process. Like, you still haven't gotten to the point of, I guess, where you would want to be, and even when you get there, you're still not going to stop.
Right.
So how do you kind of motivate yourself, and how would you tell people to motivate themselves if they're feeling like, I'm at a crossroad with this?
Right. So I would say, while it is helpful to have money, it's helpful to have connections, it's helpful to have knowledge, the number one thing I know that you need in this type of endeavor, if you're looking to become successful and you don't really have all those other three things, is you need to really just let your talent shine. You need to put your talent on display. Fortunately, we got social media where you can go online and you could just get on your piano if you know how to play piano, and you could just sing. And somebody could just record you just singing. And where you may not have the knowledge and the business acumen to put all the infrastructure around what you're doing, if you put your talent on display, there's somebody out there that doesn't have the talent that really has the infrastructure, and they're trying to find good talent to work with. So it's like, if you could rap, freestyle. If you could sing, you know. Whatever creative talent that you have, the number one thing that I would say, if you don't have access to all those other resources, is to just realistically, like, put your talent on display. And fortunately, Instagram, these algorithms, all of these
Nick loves some social media, y'all. He talk about this all the time. He was like, it's so good. You can do promotions. You can pay. You can target. I'm like, okay, Nick.
Hey, look, it really works, though. It really works, and you can really do a lot online if you know how to do that digital stuff. But if you don't know how to do the digital stuff, and a lot of people don't, if you need help, shout out, come holler at the Yacht Club. We got your back. You feel me? We help you get that together.
Y'all didn't know, he got a business for everything. So.
Yeah, that's right. We got a lot of different business things going on right now as it relates to like Facebook ads and digital and all of that stuff. But overall, I really would just say that if you have talent, put the talent out there. And even artists nowadays are like, a lot of them are business minded. So if they can't offer you a deal, you know, they may have a showcase where they'll be like, well, look, man, I see you just out here performing all the time. You know what I'm saying? You want to be a part of this showcase? And, you know, I think, you know, putting your talent on display and just being active and showing up in the community and going to events, you know, a lot of that can make up for not having the money. You know, because you'll meet somebody and they'll take a liking to you, and they'll say, well, you know, and then be good to people. Yeah. So have the talent, but then be good to people, because you never know who you'll meet that, you know, may feel like you have the exact thing that they wanted to partner up with or work with. You know what I'm saying? And y'all will have a good synergy. You know what I'm saying? So talent, putting your talent on display is number one.
Okay, and like I said, over this pretty much, what did you like? You said super, super young age, so we can pretty much give you about 25 years or so of doing this. Make it sound bad, about, you know, 27 years of doing music.
You don't age me.
I'm 30. since you was 10. Let's say you started at 10.
Mario.
So what would you say has been like the most challenging part about being in this business and doing this for you? I know everybody's process is a little different. Some people I know go to New York and get on the show.
Right.
First year, like, you know, so it's whatever your goal is, get on Broadway, whatever, like, go to a party, meet somebody, boom, I got a single out next day. What would you say the most challenging thing for you has been?
The most challenging thing for me has been for one, just really developing a definition of success first and foremost, and then recognizing that first definition I already am able to claim. I can say I'm successful by that first definition, right? But then it's like the hardest thing for me has just been really creating goals that seem reasonable, and really just take a step back. The biggest difficulty for me has been organization, right? Like just being organized and having a strategic plan of attack that was not something that would last a month, but something that was capable of lasting for years, you know? So not just having like a project mindset, but having more of a programmatic mindset where it's like, this is something that I'm going to do for years. And then also, like, I think a big challenge for me at first was just like wanting things to happen in this certain amount of time. And, you know, I mean, there's so many different things that have kind of come to me over time. Like, when I say defining success, a lot of times people want to make music so they could buy a house or buy a car or pay for their kids to go to private school. Some of these things I'm like, I can already fortunately do, so I can now begin to think of higher goals. But first, accept that, you know, I've already reached my first goal of success, right? So I would say, you know, my biggest challenge going into this next season of trying to redefine the next level of success is just making sure that I'm organized, and I would say now not trying to do it all by myself too, right? A lot of times whenever we're trying to do stuff, we try to do it all by ourselves, and that just puts us at a loss because you only got so much energy and only so much time in a day, right?
Yeah.
So learning how to work with different people, learning how to manage certain things that I need to have done for myself, and a lot of that comes from doing it for myself first, right? To see, okay, I like how I do it this way, I like how I do it this way. But, I mean, still one of the big challenges for me is just like time, I guess. But if I had to take it all the way back before success definition and organization, it's like it's not enough time in the day. Because even to this moment, I'll go in and I'll make my own flyer if I need to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll make my own videos if I need to. Even though sometimes I know I don't want to, because I would rather be taking that time to think about something else more strategic. But, you know, right now I'm on that, I'm in that space where I'm moving into really like passing everything off to a person at some point.
Don't that feel lovely?
I ain't quite there yet.
Oh, yes, but just the thought of it.
But
like,
that's a challenge too.
I don't gotta do it.
But that's a challenge too, because like, think about it, you edit your own videos, right?
Yeah, I do.
So you know that right now you want your videos done a certain way. So it's like until you're able to really like kind of like templatize your things and bring them down to like a simple set of steps and processes, then you the only one that can do it. Kind of in a way, right? So it's like, for me, I'm trying to like
but not necessarily. My boyfriend does it a lot.
Oh, your boyfriend helps out a lot too?
Yeah, so like this season he's been shooting a lot of stuff and a lot of stuff for me. He hates to do it because he knows that I can. So he'll shoot it and be like, I'll shoot it, but you gotta edit it. But I mean, again, it's still like I trust his eye. But I've had other people who shot stuff for me. They didn't do my sound right. There's no lights right. The mics don't work. They didn't test it. Right. And I'm like, I can't manage the camera, do the interview, check your levels, do all this stuff while I'm here. Like,
right. It's tough. It's tough to do all those different things. But then it's also tough to find the right talent to do the things that you know you kind of need to be passing off. So it's like, you know, it's really getting away from being the chief everything officer and then starting to figure out, okay, how can I position people to where they can do the things that I used to do, but they have good solid instructions or good guidance on how to do it. And then eventually I don't got to do that no more. Yeah. So, you know, that like that's I would say the biggest challenge is like not having enough time in the day, but it's also a fun challenge too. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause it's nice to get things done when you don't think you can. You know what I mean? So that's what I would say.
Okay, so final question for you, Mr. Nick Sneed Music.
Oh, yeah.
What can we look forward to seeing from you up and coming? So I know you got some events coming. You know, if you guys have been noticing back here, there's some things that have been kind of like, in the background. Like what type of events, what type of music? Are you trying to look into any, like festivals? Are you getting into any more like, you know, outside of DC things? Like what's next for Nick Sneed Music, and I guess all the rest of your many business ventures that you have?
Right. So I would say what's next for me, as far as like music and festivals and events, this weekend, you know, barring coronavirus don't come down and shut anything else.
Lord.
Goodness gracious, coronavirus and came through like a wrecking ball out here. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? God dang. But it's like
in every capacity.
At every capacity. Like I'm working from home like Friday because of the coronavirus. But anywho, I would say what I'm looking forward to is this event this Saturday, DMV Up Now. It's the first installment of an event that my girl and I are doing through her company, NJPR, and through my company, Yacht Club Media, at a venue in Northeast DC called Ocean Lounge. It's actually my aunt's club.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so my aunt has her own club. So it's like a family business thing, right? But basically, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Look, if you can work with your family,
why not?
Why not?
Make it happen. Shout out Aunt Pam. You know what I'm saying? But basically, this weekend we have the first annual or the first ever DMV Up Now.
Soon to be annual.
Yeah, soon to be annual. soon to be a recurring event.
Yes.
You know. But DMV Up Now is this weekend, and really what I wanted to do was to, you know, use our resources to create a platform where up and coming artists in this area that are buzzing, that are putting in work, can come out and showcase and come out and really show their talent. Kind of speaking to what I was talking about earlier, right? Like you may come out to DMV Up Now. Obviously, the guys that are on this first show, I know those guys, but you know, there may be a DMV Up Now in the future where you may come out and perform, and you know, I may see you and I may say, well, hey, how can I help you out with what you got going on? How can I help you out with marketing? How can, you know, our company, you know, work with you at a discounted rate because we believe in what you're doing, right? But ultimately, DMV Up Now is going to be a platform for artists in this area to come out, or artists outside the area when they're in the area, to come out, showcase, show their talent, be in the midst of other artists and network, and, you know, really just establish strong roots in this area and establish a foundation to kind of move around in this area in the DMV, right, with other artists. So that's this Saturday. That's the first ever DMV Up Now. And then outside of that, my girl just sent me an email today about National Cherry Blossom Festival. We were going to be doing that, but it got canceled.
Yeah, I'm going to say, but now there's no...
Blossom Festival.
I got allergies, so none of that matters to me, but I'm sorry, because that would have been nice.
That would have been
nice
so
little pretty
nice.
background up there with the flowers.
Yeah, that would have been super daggone dope. But
yeah,
Cherry
it would have been
Blossom,
a large, even wider, audience, because people coming in from all over the world for the Cherry Blossom part. Yeah.
And we was going to be prepared for that, for sure, like flyers and everything. But unfortunately, that's dead. I mean, otherwise, honestly, Tori, it's like there's a lot of things that are in the works, but it's like I don't know what'll get canceled between.
Damn, Corona.
Yeah, Corona. Come on, man. Come on, Corona. So, I mean, realistically, right now, it's just a matter of like kind of waiting to see what actually materializes. But I anticipate a lot of good things coming down the pike. Over the next 6 months for sure. I know I'm putting out an album regardless of coronavirus.
Yeah, that shouldn't stop you.
Yeah, it's not going to stop the album because I've been here doing that in here, you know what I'm saying? Free from the corona.
Yes, safe space.
Free from the corona. Plenty Heineken, you feel me? Plenty Heineken over here, you feel me? But yeah, so the album, we're looking at August for that.
Okay.
It may be sooner, but certainly the project's already done. I already got the songs done. 7 songs, real succinct, real concise, but it's a concept project, so I think people will really like that. It's, if anybody knows anything about my troubled relationship past this album.
Some of us know.
Unfortunately, some of y'all do. You know what I'm saying?
More than others.
Yeah, right. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, definitely.
Woo, golly. But, yeah, so this is going to be really good for anybody who's, like, ever been privy to anything about my relationship life. Because I think it's just a good project that kind of has a great flow. It's a storyline. I'll eventually come back on Tori Talk and we'll talk about the project.
Yeah, definitely. Closer to the day. We'll run this back and do this again.
Circle back. You dig? But, yeah, man, I'm excited. The next 6 months, I see a lot of good stuff, you know, with or without coronavirus.
Yes. I mean, we gonna hope. Lord, I hope that we not still talking about this 6 months from now. I can't even think about it any further. But
yeah, double cross.
Washed in the blood, you know. It ain't gonna get me because I'm washing the blood of Christ.
There you go. Amen.
The God I serve won't let me get.
Amen. The God I serve. That's too much. Not the God I serve.
But again, Nick, thank you so much. Please let. It's true. Look, you speak it because I don't got time, but I got to do.
She's good, y'all.
Again, thanks so much for being on the show. Thank you again so much for doing my theme song. So she went able to hear my little thing. I did want to say at my 1 year how much I appreciate the professionalism, the time you took, the turnaround, the product. Obviously, as I told Nick, I said my boyfriend has now changed it to Jeffrey Talk, and I was like, boy, stop.
Oh, that's tight.
No, it's not.
That's tight. Shout out Jeff. Shout out Jeffrey.
All my friends just go around singing it all the time.
Really?
It's like a real song to folks. They really enjoy it.
That is really
That makes me so happy because I really wanted something that would stick with you, that wouldn't be annoying.
Right.
But you could sing it, and that's exactly what it was.
Because you know what? You sent me the Wendy Williams theme song.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not about to give you this.
No, but I was just like... No. But it was more so just the fact that some of the things she was talking about in the theme song. And again, you completely captured it was more than I even knew that I wanted, and you delivered. So, of course, if, like he said, you need a theme song or just any other, project, of course, definitely hit him up. Again, very professional, very fast turnaround. And, again, my video part will change. I'm getting a new rebrand for my intro, but the song will stay the same. The song is with me.
Look,
the song is with me. So, you definitely made it through the rebrand. So,
solid.
Doing good. So again, thank you so much. Sure. Just let everyone know where they can follow you at home. I kind of all your different platforms and I guess all your different business ventures. And I am going to get this out before Saturday.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna do it because you.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay,
we're gonna buckle down and we're gonna get this out.
Jeff, help make this happen, brother. We need you.
We're gonna get this down so you guys can make sure that you can attend this event and hear about the event within enough time. So please let them know where they can find it.
Super dope.
I don't do that for everybody, so I'm actually gonna do it for Nick, and I promise I'm gonna get it done.
I appreciate that. Now she lying, y'all, but I'm gonna tell you, I appreciate it anyway. All right. But anywho, so on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all social media, my handle is at Nick. Nick Sneed SNEED music. You know how I spell music because all y'all college grads. Nick Sneed music. That's my handle across all social media. My website is nicksneedmusic.com. The event this weekend is DMV Up Now. DMV Up Now, right? So DMV Up Now .eventbrite.com. Make sure you get your ticket. If you use my code NickUpNow. You get 50%
you getting a promo
off.
Now. Y'all getting a promo code now. So y'all ain't got no excuse now.
Ain't no excuse.
Ain't no
you
excuses
get 50%
now.
off on that. You feel me? So Tori, you will get you a guest pass, but everybody else you get your promo codes. Come out, man. It's gonna be dope. It's not gonna be the last one. So hopefully you're able to attend this one. If you're not, you're lame. All right, I love you already. Oh yeah, I know. You're lame.
Thanks so much. Bye guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye-bye.
Tori Talk. Who got the tea? Who got the tea? Yeah. It's Tori Talk.